Okay, so the Title IX office is like the violent prevention office, and the Title IX coordinator is Butterfly Blaze Board. A little disclaimer before we jump into things is that there might be some things that are talked about or videos that are shown that might be disturbing to some people, and if at any time you feel uncomfortable, you can feel free to leave the chat. Just take care of yourself. A little overview of what we're going to go over tonight is definitions, forms of violence, the power control wheel, identifying an unhealthy relationship, discussion, and resources. So domestic violence is violence committed by a spouse, current or former, and it typically occurs between two people that have children together and or they live together or live together. So these are some national statistics, and 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men will experience some kind of domestic violence in their lifetime. But these numbers, especially for men, aren't always accurate. Could anyone tell me why maybe the numbers aren't always accurate? You can just, if you don't feel comfortable saying it out loud, you can write it in the chat. Yes, exactly, Butterfly. People don't report. And usually men don't want to report because they feel like it's a hit to their masculinity, that people view them as not being as manly as they want to portray themselves. And to the left, about every minute, 20 individuals are physically abused. And of course, like I said earlier, that number isn't completely accurate because people don't report. Here are some New York State statistics. During COVID-19, the calls to the New York State Domestic Violence Hotline the calls have risen by 76%. Why would you think that the number of calls would rise during COVID, especially at the beginning of COVID? The reason being why I believe the numbers have risen during COVID is because people have been isolated in their house, where before they could like get away from their abuser, but now, especially at the beginning, like in the beginning of April when there was the stay-at-home order, people were around their abusers more, and that's why I believe there was more calls to the hotline. So dating violence is different from domestic violence. I don't think a lot of people realize that there's a difference, but dating violence includes anyone that you've had a romantic relationship with, either that be intimate or not. It's also important to not assume that someone's romantic relationship is intimate. You want the individual reporting to label their own relationship. You don't want to go ahead and do that for them. Um, so can anyone tell me, like in the chat, what a bystander is? Yes, correct, Sierra. It's someone who's on the sideline. They witness the violence happening, but oftentimes they do not step in because either they feel like it's not their business to do so, like they don't want to get involved with someone else's problems, or they assume that someone already else has reported it, they already took care of it, so they feel like they don't have to do it. So being a bystander, there's always ways to help. Title IX, the Title IX office has this program called Step Up, a bystanders interventions program. And if you're interested in doing that, they can set up workshops with you or a group that you're part of, and they can do that with you. This picture only shows 4 strategies, but there's 5. The 5 are distract, be direct. Of course, don't do any of this if the situation's not safe to do so, but if the situation is safe to do so, be direct, be like, hey, I don't like what you're doing, why are you doing that? Another one would be distract, like say you're carrying a bunch of books, drop those books, deflect the attention off of what's going on. Delegate, be like, hey, I'm gonna call 911. I'm gonna call someone to try to help you. Delay. So you would go up to individual that experience violence, and then you would be like, hey, are you okay? Can I do anything for you? And the 5th one that's on here is document. So how you would document, you would take pictures, videos, or write down like the date, time, what actually happened. Yeah. Okay, so now that we kind of went over some vocabulary, we're gonna get into the types of abuse. And so there's physical abuse, which is like laying your hands on someone, so like biting them, hitting them, slapping them. Sexual abuse is when the abuser coerces someone, the individual, into having sexual relations without their consent. So the individual experiencing the violence did not say that it was okay. They weren't 100% on doing what is happening to them. And so not every type of abuse is visible, such as emotional abuse, which involves deflecting the victim's sense of self-worth, so making them feel bad about themselves, that they're not worthy. And then there's economic abuse, which makes the individual reliant on their abuser financially, so it's withholding money from someone, not letting them have their own money type of thing. And then there's psychological abuse. which is invoking fear through intimidation or threatening to physically hurt yourself, the individual, or that is someone that the individual loves. And then that kind of goes along with stalking. Stalking is following the individual around when they've made it clear that they don't want anything to do with you, or you send them stuff like gifts in the mail, or you send them letters. I know in this day and age people don't use the mail, but that's still a thing. Or you go show up places where this person is, like, constantly. And the digital abuse is more geared towards like something like today, where you message someone, say, on Facebook, and you're like relentless on it, and they've made it clear that they don't want anything to do with you, but you keep doing it, and it's affecting their emotions, kind of thing. Okay. So to your right, you'll see the power and control wheel and a list of things that are on the power and control wheel. So I'm going to ask if anyone could drop an example of coercion and threats in the chat. I would like to see what you guys think an example of that is. So coercion and threats, like an example of that would be someone threatening to hurt themselves, you or someone you love, or your animals. So the next thing on the power and control wheel is intimidation. So intimidation can be threatening someone with your words or display of a weapon, saying that you're gonna use that weapon and to harm the individual. Next on the power and control wheel is emotional abuse. So emotional abuse can include saying derogatory things to an individual, saying that you're worthless, tearing their self-confidence down so virtually they have none. Isolation would be keeping the individual away from their friends and family. Like, that oftentimes happens in an abusive relationship when the abuser doesn't want the individual to be around their friends and family because they might pick up on something and be concerned about their friend. Denying, minimizing, or blaming is when the abuser would put all the blame on the individual, saying that it's their fault, why they did what they did, like why they experienced the violence. Using children could be having the children go as a go-between the two parents. Like, one parent will tell the child something and then they'll tell their other parent. And using children can also include threatening to take custody away from the other parent, to move the children away from the other parent, kind of thing. Privilege would be making the individual feel less like they're beneath you and not letting them make any decisions. And economic abuse would be the abuser doesn't let the individual have a job, have their own money. They have to ask their partner for money, like a child. Like, they can't have any of their own money. It has to all be controlled. So the following information that I got about um, unhealthy relationships came from the One Love Foundation. The One Love Foundation was started in honor of Yearly Love, who was a victim of domestic violence by her ex-boyfriend, and she died of at the hands of him by domestic violence. Her death was 100% preventable if she knew the signs of domestic violence. So that's kind of like One Love's pledge is to educate young adults in either high school or college about domestic violence and unhealthy relationships, and how they do that is by hosting workshops. And okay, so signs of unhealthy relationships, like I said, some of the information came from One Love and the other information came from the Title IX office. Okay, so there are 10 signs of an unhealthy relationship, and if you have any idea what maybe one of the 10 are, you can drop it in the chat. So the first unhealthy relationship sign is intensity. So that would be when someone's feeling overwhelmed. So intensity would be the sense of feeling overwhelmed about how the pace of the relationship is going. So like if it's going too fast or too slow, it's you just feel overwhelmed by everything that's going on. And number 2 is possessiveness. And Sean, yes, when individuals are viewed as an object and sense of ownership. Yeah, I agree with that. But possessiveness is like when you are jealous. You're jealous of everything that your partner does. Like you don't like it when they go out with other friends or family because you do not know what they're doing. They're not with you. You don't have any control over them. Well, that's how you feel anyways. The third one would be manipulation, and that's when they can try to control every aspect of your life. Like you can't go do nothing without them trying to control it in some way. Number 4 is isolation. So that's when your partner tries to keep you away from friends and family. And like I said earlier, that's partly due because they don't want you. I feel like they don't want you around your friends or family because they might pick up that not everything's okay and they'll start asking questions which they don't want. Number 5 would be sabotage. So your partner goes around saying untrue things about you to ruin your reputation to other people so other people don't want to be around you. Um, Number 6 is belittling. So it's when your partner says something to make you feel bad about yourself. Like, for example, your partner would say, you don't look good in that dress, or you don't do anything right, kind of thing. I can see why people give you a hard time. You don't do anything right. It also includes name calling and just criticizing you, like being really mean. Number 7 would be guilting. So like when they make you feel bad about doing something and they've tried to guilt you into making you feel like it's your fault. Um, your job to make them feel good about themselves for you. It's your job to make them happy, kind of thing. Volatility is when someone has an explosive temper, kind of like 1 minute they can be fine talking about the weather, and the next minute they blow up about something that might have happened last week or something. It just comes out of nowhere, and that type of outburst scares you and just makes you feel really uncomfortable. Deflecting responsibility, so it's playing the blame game, kind of. It's your partner blames you for their past actions. Say if they hate you, they'll say it's your fault because you did this or you did that, kind of thing. And number 10 is betrayal. And so it's when someone is dishonest with you, they break your trust. So say that your partner goes and cheats on you. That's a type of betrayal, and that breaks your trust. So I'm going to show you guys a couple 10 videos. So a video about each sign, and it's less than 10 minutes long.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Him? And a friend?
Yes.
You think he's a friend who wants one thing and you're too foolish to even realize it? I'm sorry. Look, I got drunk and I was stupid.
So the second video is manipulation. Okay, this third one is belittling.
What?
I don't know. Your phone's ringing.
No, it's fine.
It's still ringing. You don't want to get it? What if it's an emergency or something?
No, it's maybe just a friend.
Is it who I think it is? If it's who I think it is, he wants one thing and you're too foolish to even realize why he's calling you right now at 11:30 p.m. at night because he's your friend.
Don't.
You can't.
You don't need to.
I want to, but I can't.
Yes, you can.
Come on,
Just
Zoe, I got.
say, come on.
Come on, we got practice.
Can you just skip it?
We can't keep doing this, all right?
Come on.
Skip it.
Yeah, just stay.
Just blow off practice?
Just saying you can spend some time with me. I don't know.
There's a picture that you kind of look like her.
Totally.
You look like the girl from that movie. It could be the eyes.
It could be.
Smile.
Jeez, Will, stop.
Huh? What? We're all having a good time here, right? Zoe, excuse me, Zoe. No, come on. You don't even care. Somebody's calling you.
It doesn't
Pick up the
matter.
phone.
I'm not.
Stop crying and then I'm the bad guy. Why are you a liar?
I'm not a liar.
You are a liar.
I am not a liar.
You're lying right now. You're lying right now.
You scared me.
Hey, I couldn't wait to see you. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm just thinking about you. I was just trying to be sweet.
You're right. It was sweet. And we've got 2 cappuccinos.
Thank you.
You're welcome. She was cute. The barista.
She was nice. I'll see you tonight, all right?
No, you won't.
I won't.
I made plans with Leah.
You know what I think about Leah.
She's my friend.
She's not your friend.
Yes, she is.
I'll see you tonight. Cancel your plans.
Will, I'm not gonna. Jesus, stop it. Come on.
I'll see you tonight. All right?
Okay, so I'm gonna show one more video and then we're gonna have a discussion about the 11 videos that we've watched. Um, just reminder the content warning. If at any time you need a breather, go ahead, leave the chat. Feel free to do whatever you need to do for yourself.
Because I love you? Sure. We can hang out with your friends tonight.
Because I love you, we'll just have a few drinks. Because I love you, I will have 3 double whiskeys.
Because I love you tonight is awesome. Because I love you.
Why are you spending so much time with Jenny? Are you flirting with her?
Because I love you, I storm out of the bar
And leave you all by yourself.
I go down the street and I get wasted
I make out with some dude
Paul, Pete, whatever.
in front of everybody.
because I love you.
You deserve to know what it feels like to be disrespected.
Because I love you.
I'm so sorry. I was wasted.
Because I love you. I text, I can't live without you.
I wait for you after class.
I'm standing here in the rain.
Because I love you, I yell at your window.
No one will ever love you as much as I do.
Because I love you. You open your front door.
Because I love you, you listen as I cry.
You hug me and say that it's okay. And you take all the blame.
Because I love you.
That's not love.
So after tonight's presentation, I think it would be a really cool thing if I did, and like all of you that have came, took the Instagram and just posted a picture of yourself or anything. If you just post a picture and use the hashtag It's Not Love Plattsburgh, and that, I feel like that'll raise awareness about domestic violence and unhealthy relationships, and long term would provide a safe campus for all of us. And I just wanted to let you guys know that October is Domestic Violence Month, and that on October 22nd, which I believe is a Thursday, it's Wear Purple Day to raise awareness about domestic violence. So let's talk about the videos that we just watched. So if you don't feel comfortable saying it out loud, just drop it in the chat. So the first question would be, what healthy relationship trait is the hardest for you to distinguish? I do agree with isolation. Yeah, sabotage is another one that would be isolation and sabotage. I do agree with that. They're hard to distinguish. Isolation can be like, you would just think, oh, they just want to spend a lot of time with me. They really love me. Or sabotage, like I usually like telling your friends, your partner to skip class, to hang out and stuff. You don't really think that as being sabotaging, but it really is, because that's setting you up for failure for your class or work. So the second discussion question that I have would be, what unhealthy relationship trait do you feel is the most common? Like, what one do you feel like happens the most? I do agree with jealousy because I actually, that was my example too. Jealousy is seen as the most common because people view jealousy as um, they view jealousy as a sign of affection. They think that you're jealous because you don't want anyone else to have what you have because you love them so much. Jealousy is the most common, I feel like, anyways. So the third discussion point that I have is, in your opinion, why do you feel like a lot of these unhealthy traits are seen as signs of affection? Yes, manipulation. I feel like it's mainstream. A lot of these are mainstream where people feel like, oh, that's such as jealousy. Jealousy is seen as, like I said earlier, as a sign of affection. And isolation can be kind of too, because you feel like, oh, they just want to spend a lot of time with me. Okay. So, so we talk about unhealthy relationships. Here's some signs of healthy relationships. The information about healthy relationships also came from One Love and the Title IX office. Uh, what do you think are some signs of a healthy relationship? I'll just get started. Um, this one is a comfortable pace. So it's a pace that both you and your partner agree on. It's going the speed that you want it to, that you're both comfortable with things that are going on in the relationship. The second sign of a healthy relationship is honesty. So you have an open means of communication, like you talk to each other. You don't hide things from each other that might upset one another. You're just upfront and honest about things. The third one would be trust. So you tell your partner things that you might not tell other people because you don't trust them, but you trust your partner in telling them things, and that they won't do anything to hurt you. Like they won't go tell your worst enemy your secrets, kind of thing. The fourth sign of a healthy relationship is interdependence. Oh, independence, sorry. So you have the space to yourself without being controlled with what you do. Like you can go hang out with friends and your partner isn't obsessively text you wondering what you're doing, things of that nature. The fifth sign of a healthy relationship is respect. So you value each other's beliefs and long-term goals, and you work with your partner to reach those goals. Um, the sixth sign of a healthy relationship is taking responsibility. So say that you did something that might upset your partner, say that you've cheated in the past. You take responsibility of doing that. You're upfront about it, so you're honest, and you're taking responsibility of doing that. You don't blame them for your actions. The seventh sign of a healthy relationship is healthy conflict. So you go to your partner and you tell them that you cheated, but then you openly talk about what happened without judgment, which is it's hard to do. And that's such some conversations are harder to have than others, but healthy conflict will be in any relationship. You won't have a relationship without some conflict. The eighth sign of a healthy relationship is fun. So you enjoy spending time together. You don't dread going to see your partner. If you're dreading going to see your partner, that's not the relationship for you. The ninth sign of a healthy relationship is equality. So you feel like everyone, both you and your partner, put in the same amount of energy, effort into a relationship. It's not like a teeter-totter kind of thing where you're putting in all the effort and your partner is putting in none, or vice versa. It's shared. And the 10th one is kindness. So it goes back to treating each other with respect. You listen to each other. You are there for your partner. If one of you have a problem, you're supporting them in their decisions, decisions that they make throughout their life. And similar to the power and control wheel for unhealthy relationships, we have the equality wheel for a healthy relationship. And so some points the points on a equality wheel is, hold on, acceptance. So hold on. So negotiation and fairness would be a point on the equality wheel. So you're willing to compromise. It's not saying that you're compromising all the time and your partner is not compromising at all. You can't come to an agreement, say one of you want to go out to dinner at McDonald's and the other one wants to go have dinner at an actual restaurant. And you make a compromise that you'll go where your partner wants to go that day, but then other times, like, it's a balance between the two. You're willing to do things to make your partner happy. Non-threatening behavior, so you're talking and acting in a safe way. You're not driving erratically. You're not threatening to do something to your partner. You're just creating a safe environment to talk and not so respect. Valuing each other's opinions. So you are talking about things and you might disagree about a topic, say politics, hot topic right now, but say your partner has different views on politics than you do. You respect each other's opinions on if they're different from each other. Trust and support. You support each other's life goals, you work towards each other's life goals, and you don't do things to sabotage them. Honesty and accountability. You accept responsibility for your actions. You don't play the blame game. You don't blame your partner for your actions when your partner had nothing to do with it. Responsible parenting. So this doesn't apply to every relationship. It applies to people who have children together. So you agree on parental responsibilities. Say if you and your partner, if you are together, you agree like I'm going to through this time, and then you can bring the child to the doctor next time, kind of thing. Like you put the responsibility up in a way it's fair for both of you. And then that leads me to the next point on the equality wheel, which is shared responsibility. So it's agreeing to fair dispute, fair share of work. Like you cut the work in half.
Hi, everyone. So just some technical difficulties. Hi, my name is Aisha Nadler. I'm the Violence Prevention Education Outreach Coordinator. So we're just going to move forward while we get those situated. In the meantime, we just, again, want to let you know, oops, let me go back real quick. We weren't done. In terms of economic partnerships, so again, as Kelsey was saying, making sure all parties are a part of the decisions where the money is coming from, as well as where it's going, can be very, very important in a relationship, whether that's sexual, romantic, or even a partnership amongst your friends. We know you may have a relationship with your friend where sometimes you go out, and I know I see jokes all the time about whether or not you reach for your wallet when you know you're not going to pay, right? So having conversations about who's going to pay for certain things can definitely be important. Making sure that if you do not have the funds or the money, you consider not going or letting someone know in advance so they don't feel pressured or coerced in order to support you. In terms of resources, if you are looking to report, you can come to the Title IX office. We are an official reporting option. Due to COVID, everything is being done remotely at this time. So you see our email as well as the phone number listed on the slide. Again, feel free to come by, give us a call, make an appointment with our office if you'd like to talk and get some information. Aside from coming to our office, you can also reach out to Stop Domestic Violence, which provides a hotline, which is 24 hours. Again, that is a confidential reporting option, which is important. So they do not share anything with anyone without your written consent, unless there's a concern for your physical health or an immediate concern for other people in that sense. We also have University Police. If you've ever been on campus, you may have seen these red poles with blue lights on them. If you push those buttons, University Police will be dispatched to that location. You can also call if you don't know what to do. 2022 is the jingle. Of course, we want you to feel comfortable reaching out to whoever is there to help you. There are a lot of resources both available to you on and off campus. The SUNY Saver program is a great program if you are on campus and you've ever seen these black and yellow clings on the window, even if you want one on the window. Again, please let us know. We have a lot of clings. We would love to help and pass those out to make sure the message is getting out through campus. We definitely would like to thank you all for coming. We hope to continue to see you at our events for the rest of the semester. Next week, we have 2 events coming up. One is about the LGBTQ+ community, celebrating because it is also LGBTQ+ History Month. We also have Hawkins Lit. So if you are passing by Hawkins at nighttime, it will be illuminated in purple. So I, again, invite you all to check out Hawkins and see so that you can go and, again, be a part of the picture taking of Hawkins and tag the SUNY Plattsburgh page. And Kelsey is back. So Kelsey, I just ran through the resources. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I'm so sorry that happened. I was almost done and then that happened. I was like, yeah.
It happens. Zoom is not always our friend. But again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Kelsey is going to drop in a link in the chat. We want to invite you all to provide some feedback because that's a key part to these presentations. So Kelsey is going to send those links, and we are so thankful and grateful for all of you joining us today.
Thanks.